Today on episode 85, our Dennis McKinnon episode of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, our halfway NFL playoff predictions, media recommendations, everyday Madden ratings, and presidential election. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 85 of Typical Chicago Fans. It's me, your boy Boomy, on Twitter at BoomyTCF. Make sure to follow the main page at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Type in Typical Chicago Fans and like those pages there. Head on over to YouTube as well. Subscribe to the page for all of our content in video form. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us on Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. Find us there and give us a follow on those sites. Make sure to follow the guys that I'm joined with tonight. We got Zach at Lilia TCF, and of course, Maddie at schools_01. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at 26shirts.com Chicago. Head on over to their website, 26shirts.com/Chicago, to check out the coolest Chicago sports merchandise around. They have everything from shirts and hats and hoodies and flags. Anything you need, they have it. Head on over to their website, find your product. At checkout, use promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. If you love the show, love the podcast, love great Chicago merch, and love helping out good causes, head over to 26shirts.com/Chicago to pick up some great items and help out a great cause. Like I said, promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off your order. Boys, episode 85, how we feeling?
Good. 85, a great number. It was 1985, right, when the Bears won the Super Bowl?
85 season.
85
Super Bowl.
season. I always get that wrong. I always say 86. I don't know why.
Because technically the game was in 86.
But boys, we're slowly losing sports. We only have football until I think college basketball gets back. So we still got football though. So there's actions coming back. So we have a lot to look forward to. But we who are we to say anything? We didn't have sports for 2 months? No sports at all. I think it was Wednesday night. We didn't have sports, and I kind of sat there like, it's kind of nice to have a night off of sports. You can kind of do whatever. But then you're like, man, we lived this for 2 months straight.
That's why you listen to our media recommendations later on in the show. Come on,
yes.
For those Wednesday nights when we don't have anything going on.
MLS, I apologize. Soccer was on. So there was sports. I apologize for that, but
that's debatable.
And Zach, it was more than 2 months. It was March, April, May, June. That was 4 full months. So
4 full months of no sports, like major sports, I guess.
Zach, we're gonna be back on. We're gonna be back on Australian horse racing before you know it.
It's been a while.
Well, Maddie, how are you doing, man? It's been a while since me and you have been on the same video.
For good reason. You scoundrel. Boomy taking shots.
Just like to stir the pot a little.
Yeah, clearly. And that, pre-show we had, trying to pass the blame on Zach too, which I didn't think was just completely unfair, but whatever.
Oh, I will never relent that.
We'll let that go, I guess, for now until you say something else, I'm sure, which is inevitable. Outside of that, we got Halloween coming. We got another good weekend of football, it looks like. I'm a little worried about the Bears, but we'll get there when that time comes.
Absolutely. I see you picked up a new was it SNES game off of eBay?
Original Nintendo. It was it's called Dusty Diamond All-Star Softball. It's a pretty rare game, but it's a classic for sure.
Was that your eBay find here?
That was from last week. Yes, that was my.
Okay.
It came in yesterday. Played it last night for about an hour or so. Fired up fine right off the bat. So guy will get his 100% rating. Will continue in my book. So I can't give him anything less. Came through perfectly. So it's pretty cool. A little bit of a piece of nostalgia from my youth growing up and stuff. And whoa, that guy just drilled like a 50 like 55-yarder for Maryland. Holy cow.
51-yard field goal for this
Well,
kid
he's
from
acting
Maryland.
he's acting like he kicked like a 75-yarder the way
Or
he's
a game
celebrating.
winner.
Holy crap. Right. There's like
But
10
the
minutes left in this
Bears
thing.
should sign him right now.
Yeah, let's go get him. Sorry, 7 minutes ago, but Jesus, that was a nice kick. No, but like I said, good weekend of football coming. We got Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays, which is going to be a little different this year in my house, but, sure most houses will be slightly different than it's been. So
100%.
Thanks to Corona.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing changing anytime soon either. Let's jump right into it. We got sinkers and floaters. I'll start with my sinker, and I think this might be the worst gift of all time. I don't know how to feel about this, but Kanye West, for his wife's birthday, you guys see what he got her?
The hologram of her dad.
The hologram of her dad, and he made it say that Kanye is smart or something. Like I don't know, man. I don't know if I would want you. I don't think I would want that as a birthday present.
Yeah, that would freak me out for one.
Yeah,
that would definitely freak me out.
He is a mad scientist. Obviously, Kanye's
a maniac. Did you guys listen to his interview on Rogan?
Yes, I did.
I have not got to it yet, but I've read a bunch of stuff about it.
I would listen to it. I would not listen to it. But hey, she loved it.
That would freak me out. I would not. I think that's a bad gift.
That's weird.
But yeah.
It's borderline like a seance, isn't it? Like, come on.
Yeah, we're getting in a little too much like Black Mirror stuff here. I don't know how I am about it.
I don't know.
I'm
all for that, like having a connection to, your loved ones without question. That might be a bit much.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
My sinker is Thanksgiving, because this year, who knows what's going to happen this year on Thanksgiving. It's the one big one. You get together, you eat turkey, you watch football. It's going to be different this year, guys. It's going to be different.
You're spot on. I was just talking to my wife about this, Zach. You're 100% correct. Absolutely top notch. This might be the most obvious sinker that has been thrown out since I've been on the show.
I hate to be this way, but Easter, we didn't have Easter. That was, whatever. But Thanksgiving is the one where the family always is together, and you always get together for Easter too. But you eat food and you watch football and you get to hang out with the family. And I'm not saying
you're drinking, yelling, talking, laughing, and everything that's like they say is what you shouldn't be doing in large groups.
Yeah, so I'm not saying people aren't going to be able to have it, but it's going to be a little different this year, and it makes me very sad.
Totally agree. So it's definitely my favorite holiday, personally.
Yep, I was just gonna say it's like number 2 or 3 for me. So
my favorite, fellas, is Christmas, not just for the presents, but for I love decoration. I love Christmas decoration.
I'm with you, dude. Christmas is number 1 in my book.
Christmas music is absolutely it's top notch. You can't beat Christmas music. Don't get me wrong.
First Christmas by myself at my house, there's going to be Christmas lights everywhere.
It's gonna be a winter wonderland at Zach's new house.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna be. I can't imagine we're gonna be doing much of leaving the house. So I'm sure our house is going to be every bit of looking like the inside of a mall with the fake houses, the fake snow, the lights, the trains going everywhere, all that shit. Music
I'll put
playing.
My tree up. That's
you gotta get the really thick, heavy pine scented candles, so it just wafts through your house.
I actually have a brand new one I got for my birthday, and it's one of those the wood burning candles. So I am all prepared for that, man. 100% all prepared for that.
As my sinker is reply all people in office emails. If you get an entire office email for a memo, whatever, like some announcement, whatever it may be, hey, there's a party on X date, whatever it is, the people that reply all, it's absolutely infuriating, and it just it just loads up. It's like, what are you guys doing? How do you not pick up that nobody needs to hear your comments? Because I guarantee you don't want to hear anybody else's comments. So what the hell makes you think everybody in the company wants to hear your response?
And usually just to say, like, sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. See you then. See you then. Great picture.
I've never understood that.
Yeah. Not some other like counter announcement. It's just or supplemental announcement. It's just some bullshit that just you have to click on, have to read, have to look at. And it's just obnoxious. So reply all people.
Someone that does that is about 64 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. I think it's actually it might be a little lower than that, but you know.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever replied at all. If I have, it's been very, very few and far between.
I've had to in certain situations where it's like necessitated it as far as like passing along information. I'm talking
like the ones where you're just like that sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I don't know. I can't imagine anybody else is too fond of it either. I'm just vocal about it. I guess I hate it.
I'm with you, man. I'm completely with you.
I don't send enough emails.
Yeah,
I hate email.
Well, it's really, if it wasn't for the podcast and like some ads I get on there, like I really wouldn't have. I mean, it's not like I do for work.
There's nothing I hate more about my job than email. It's just constant and it just never goes away. And it's always people asking for something. And it's just like, can you just come on, just give me a minute.
Figure it out.
Or ask somebody else sometimes, you know? Like, just, come on.
Must be a company memo. Whatever you have questions, just send them to Matt.
Yeah, apparently.
I'll jump into it with my floater, and mine is the McRib. I don't necessarily like McRibs. I've had less than 5 probably in my life, but I learned today that the McRib has not been a nationwide yearly release since 2012. It's only in some certain select locations.
Really?
And this year, the reason it is my floater is because it will now be a nationwide release this year, like I said, for the first time since 2012. So if you really enjoyed that disgusted processed barbecue meat on a bun, you can get it anywhere in the time that they have it. It's not just at specific locations, but
absolutely smothered in barbecue sauce too. Those things are delicious.
Those are disgusting.
They're delicious. They're fantastic.
I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue about this.
Big Macs are vile.
Or what?
Big Mac. I said McRibs are worse than Big Macs, and Big Macs suck.
Oh my God.
Just eat a regular cheeseburger like a normal person. You don't need Thousand Island dressing on it, ketchup and mustard, and move on. And you don't need a second bun.
I'm not even gonna do this. Projects around the house is my floater. This time of year, now with COVID going on, all those little projects that you had around the house, you have to get done now. What else are you gonna do?
Seriously, that's a good point, Zach.
Like if it's winter time and it's like around the house inside, kind of stuck.
Yeah, we're to the point now, and we've talked about the weather quite a bit, but like I've got like 3 big outside projects I need to get done, and I know the bad weather is coming, so I know like my time is getting thin that I need to get those projects done because it's going to be hell trying to do it in like a month when it's 10 degrees outside.
What's the over under on how many times I'm gonna have to use my snowblower this year? 7.5?
I think how many would you have? 3 last year?
Yes, I have 3 or 4. And I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use 7. Probably I'm gonna use it at times when I probably don't need to. Occasionally.
7.
So keep that in
7
mind.
times.
Just to feel like a man a little bit,
Yeah.
Get the throttle go, get that thing pounded on the blacktop, chewing it up like a 1/4 inch of snow.
Yeah. I think you're gonna get about 5 to 6.
So let's set the over under at 7.5.
Play the slight under.
Minus 110 either way, accepting all bets, Venmo, Pigway.
Yes, absolutely. Can we get that put on the TCF weekly parlay?
Just Venmo Pigway, or the or my total here. My total on snowblowing attempts.
I love it.
I think I'm going to be borrowing one for the winter, so hopefully I get to use it too because I'm excited.
Do you have a pretty big driveway in the new house or no? Like how long is it?
Eh, it's
Nah, it's not that big.
it's not long, but it'll meet
Enough that you're
me.
not going to want to shovel it.
Oh yeah, and if I have a snowblower, it's gonna be awesome.
Bingo.
It's about the size of yours, Matt.
Okay.
Very tiny sidewalk, so still gonna need that though.
Yeah, and then once you get the big ass snowblower too, you just start like zipping down the sidewalk just because it's like for shits and giggles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to invest in one. I got a long driveway, but I usually just
You live
drive.
out in the middle of nowhere though, don't you? So just get a
Well,
plow
not
or
middle of
something, most
nowhere,
likely.
but out in the country, yeah. We're not too far off, but man, it's sometimes I get going like it's really bad, like right around the house. But like if I get going really crazy and need to do the whole driveway, it'll take me well over an hour to shovel the whole driveway, depending
Yeah.
on how bad it is.
I'm already done with winter. This conversation's already depressing the hell out of me. So we're gonna come back and I'm gonna give you my floater this week, and that is going to be social distance trick or treating. And avoiding the awkward conversations with neighborhood people that you don't really enjoy talking to. Like certain people you do like, it's like certain neighbors, you're like, yeah, that's cool. Hey, good to see you. But then you get like the random ones that like you've seen or like, talked to once or twice. And it's just like, I don't want to have a 15-minute conversation with
a
you.
weird eye
Dude.
when you
Like,
drive by his house.
yeah. So what
People
we're
to talk
doing,
to.
I talked to you guys about it. We're gonna toss candy bars at the big kids. We got the full size bars, so those things will get some real distance on it. And then I'm gonna do like a little like a cardboard shoot, like for the littler kids that'll just about 10 feet long and just shoot it down like almost like a big gutter looking thing. And hopefully that works.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah. My kid's gonna love seeing all the costumes as much as anything. So
that's the thing. Like a little bit of return to normalcy, man.
I love Halloween, man. Halloween's a shit. That's probably my second holiday. You guys were talking Christmas number 1. I got Thanksgiving 1, Halloween 2, and Christmas 3, I think. And it's not to take a shot at Christmas. If we're going to use it, Christmas is without a doubt number 1. Without a doubt. I'm just
not a big Halloween guy.
Yeah, I've never been a big Halloween guy.
Halloween's I love got scary good music. Halloween's got a good vibe to it. Dude. Yeah. Good parties. There's usually good events going on.
I hated Halloween until college. Then it got at least tolerable. Let's move on. We have the TCF Sports Minute. Like Zach said earlier, we're dwindling down, running out of sports, but some obviously big stuff did happen. The White Sox have hired Tony LaRussa as their manager. What do we think, boys?
I love it. What I will say is not to the fact that the fans can say whatever, we can say whatever, but it seems like there were people within the organization that didn't want it, and they went against that, and like that's just not good. I'm not even going to speak to the fact of we can sit here and troll and say, oh, he's old or whatever, or it's been a while since he's played, and maybe he won't be able to connect with the players. No, it's the fact that they went against the word or the thoughts of their own organization, people within their own organization, and went against somebody that apparently some people did not want even inside the organization.
Sounds like Hahn didn't want him, and if you're undercutting Rick Hahn, I think that's it's an outlandish move with what he's done to help build that organization where they're at. I think you've given him the keys at this point. This is his hire. This is the cherry on the top of this roster that he's built, is putting the right coach and the right manager in that spot. And you undercut him and you go with Tony LaRussa to mend whatever fence you feel like you might have to personally or whatever personal connection that you think that LaRussa is going to bring. I have a hard time feeling like he's going to they're not going. This was a team that was borderline being one of the most fun teams to watch in the game. And I don't think you're going to see that anymore. I don't think they're going to be one of the most likable rosters in baseball in terms of the way they play, the level of enjoyment they play with, how good they are, young, talented, exciting. so much of that's going to get sucked away with Tony LaRussa and just the vibe he brings. And it's just I don't know. I think that was just AJ Hinch is the perfect hire there for them. It's a perfect hire. He's done it with the same type players. He paid his penalty. He probably fell on the sword as much as anybody in baseball did for the cheating aspect of it. Him and Cora both lost their jobs. No one else did.
He's not even like he just got hired by the Tigers and like no one even cares. And like if they're gonna say that it was
right,
they didn't want to pursue him because they were gonna had to face that fire. Like I don't think Tony LaRussa is a bad baseball manager. I think he understands the game.
One of the best ever.
Successful, but you're talking about a fit, and I just don't. Literally, this guy was on record back when the playoffs started, when Manny Machado was pimping home runs, saying that like there's no place in baseball for stuff like this. Like, dude, that is exactly what baseball is now. Like, this is not baseball.
You got TA bat flipping to the moon.
It's not even that. That's where this team is. I mean, this team has prided themselves on they're gonna have fun with the game. I know. And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna be a good fit.
And you said pissing people off and like literally just hiring one of your buddies because you want to, relive the old days. It's what it feels like.
They literally hired him in 1979 and 2020 is when they've hired Tony LaRussa as the White Sox manager. Like, that's crazy.
Bananas.
That's absurd.
It's absolutely bananas when you put it that way.
It just seems like everything that Tony LaRussa is right now is like the opposite of what.
That's exactly it. I don't think it's the right fit. I think if LaRussa's going to come back to the game, I think a team like the Yankees, where it's a veteran-loaded team, guys that may need a fire lit under their ass to kind of get over the hump and take the next step. I don't think a young, blossoming, up-and-coming team with a lot of sizzle, a lot of a lot of flair to their game, a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, needs that vibe. I just don't, unless he's a completely changed person, which I just don't think it. We all know people at that age normally don't change who they are.
And then you see their second choice would have been Bruce Bochy. Some people are saying it's like,
where's Bobby Cox in line?
Yeah. What?
Is Charlie Manuel still alive?
It's like, did you even think about Alex Cora or AJ Hinch? Like, what?
It's just,
I understand. Like I said, AJ Hinch quickly got hired, right? Like, what, a day after?
Yeah.
So,
in my opinion, it was Hans' hire to make, and they didn't let him make it. Bottom line.
It didn't make any sense.
Nailed it. Well, in the baseball world as well, since the last time we talked, the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series, probably saved Davey Roberts' job. But I believe they opened up as the World Series favorites next year. The White Sox were, on some places, plus 1,200 to win the World Series, plus 1,500. Cubs were right around like 2,000, plus 2,000 for the World Series next year.
Boys, am I crazy, or is this Justin Turner stuff just kind of going away quicker than it probably should? Like,
yeah, it does feel like that.
He tested positive before the game, and then he had like an inconclusive test. They didn't want him to miss it because of it, and then he got the other positive test, and then he comes back onto the field. Like, that seems like probably not a good thing to do. And like I said, luckily for him, no Game 7. Like, what would they have done?
He just wouldn't have played.
That's crazy. No, not him. Like, everybody was exposed to him.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, it's weird how it like was the biggest story in the sporting world on Tuesday, but now it's literally like it's done being talked about, and that wasn't even that long ago.
We're just back to football.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of that, last thing in the sports world, all of the COVID going around college football. We have the leading candidate for Heisman, Trevor Lawrence, is out with COVID, and half of Wisconsin's football team has COVID. So I think this is just going to continue to be an issue. And
I think that, it's bad Wisconsin. They got COVID, but Big Ten did not factor in that something was going to happen. Like, some people were going to miss a certain amount of games. Like, I just think that I think the Big Ten really screwed that one up too. With
Yeah, I mean
waiting so
they
long.
killed themselves with bye weeks. I mean they don't have any, so it's
Yeah.
team has to cancel or week, then you're fucked. And with the way they're set schedule, structuring everything, it's 21 days or whatever of
Yeah.
you're out. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Wisconsin.
I think it's up to 16 players or coaches have it.
Yeah.
That's insane when you think about it, really, too. I mean, that's a very,
but
very
it
high
isn't, because you think about probably if one person has it, like how close you are with football in the locker room and everything.
Right.
But I know what you mean. It's a big number.
It is. It really is.
It is, but it's what, out of 100 kids probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 to 120.
And you know what I mean? If
And all that
you're
means
on a
though, is
campus and
active.
everything, like
It doesn't tell you beforehand or what's coming behind it either, though. So that's the other thing.
True. Very true. Well, we are halfway through the NFL season, so we are going to take a look at who we think is going to be in the playoffs at the end of the season. Let's start with the AFC East. Zach, who do you got in the AFC East?
Well, boys, I figured it out. The Bills are going to win the AFC East. If I do have that correct, do I have that correct, boys?
That would be the correct team. Yeah.
Thank you. Correct team.
Correct division. You're good to go.
Yes, I think the Bills are going to win it. I don't really see the Patriots making a run or anything, and I just don't see anyone making a run. I think the Bills maybe struggling a little bit, though, but I still think that they are the better team in that division.
Maddie, who do you got?
Yep, Bills, same reasons. Josh Allen's probably the best quarterback in that division. I think pretty clearly. And I don't know if they've got a 2-game lead on it already right now. I think kind of control as it is, and the rest of the division is not very good.
So I wanted to go out on a limb. I think Buffalo's a good team, a team that's making a little bit of a splash lately, the Dolphins, but I just don't think the Dolphins are there yet. I think they're, still a couple seasons out, but I also agree. I think the Bills are going to finish off, like you said, Matt, kind of building a little cushion in there. But I don't think
it would never shock you to see Belichick turn it around, though, either.
That's very true.
Not kid ourselves.
But there's nothing to believe in right now after seeing them the last couple of weeks. Let's move to a contentious one, the AFC North. We got 3 teams with 5 wins or more.
I am going to say the Steelers are going to win that. I think that the Ravens will make it at some point when we get to the wild card. But I'm thinking the team that has the lead in the division right now, the Steelers, 6-0. They play the Ravens this week, so that'll be a huge game for this conversation. And I had the Steelers winning this game in our picks, so I'm going to have to go with the Steelers.
I'm going to have to go opposite. I got the Ravens in the picks, so I've got the Ravens for the division. So
there we go.
I think the Ravens defense is starting to come together a little bit. I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more of what they've been traditionally. Lamar Jackson, I think, hasn't been obviously as good as he was last year, but it's coming, and the big plays are coming, and his ability is just going to at least start showing itself at some point. So I don't know. I think Baltimore is the deeper team, both offensively and defense. I really like John Harbaugh. I think he's a fantastic coach in the NFL.
I'm with you, Maddie. I'm on the Ravens as well. I think they've had their one really, bad moment this year was against the Chiefs when they were just on it. I think that they're, like you said, deeper. And I don't know how much I believe in Pittsburgh right now. They're a good team. I'm not saying they're not a good team, but the Ravens are the best team in that division until proven otherwise.
It feels like Pittsburgh is getting banged up more and more each week, and that the receivers, Deontay Johnson's a stud.
Are we talking about every football team?
No, I'm just saying. I think Pittsburgh is as talented as anybody, but I think it seems like injuries are hitting them harder than a lot of teams right now. Roethlisberger is always banged up. And it's one of those things that if they stay healthy, they could win the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind.
Absolutely, I'm with you there. Let's move to the AFC South division with two teams above 500 and two stinkers below 500. Zach, who you got in the AFC South?
I think it'll be the Tennessee Titans pretty easily with that one. I
Yeah.
don't think there's going to be much to that. I think the Titans have proven themselves to be the better team early in the season, and if they can stay healthy, they will be division champs.
I agree completely.
You agree?
Agree. I literally everything Zach said was spot on. So
The only thing that worries me about Indy is that defense. That defense is very good, but again, not quite enough. I think that Tennessee is just putting some really nice things together. And obviously, I think Derrick Henry it helps out a lot. I think we can all agree about who we think is going to win the AFC West. Correct?
The Chiefs.
yeah, Denver.
Yeah, Denver. Yeah.
They are going to be a good team, though. I think Drew Lock is a good quarterback.
I agree completely. That team's played a lot of close games. They've lost to some good teams, and it's once Lock being on that team on the field for them, it's not Trevor Siemian. It's not who else? Who was the other guy that was thrown out there for a little bit? Jeff Driscoll. He was out there. I don't know, man. Some of these quarterbacks that team's had, it's brutal.
Who was the one guy they had that got arrested for walking into somebody's house?
Swag Kelly.
Swag Kelly, that's right.
Swag Kelly.
Yeah, Zach is spot on. I like Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock's going to be a stud.
All right, boys. In the AFC, we even got tripped up today. There are going to be 3 wild card teams this year. Zach, do you have your 3 wild card teams? And then we'll go to the NFC.
Ravens, Colts, Chargers. I think the Chargers will make a little bit of a run here. I think they have a good team.
I like it. I like that. That's a ballsy pick. That is a ballsy pick, but it's a damn good team.
They're 2-4, but there's a lot of good quarterbacks. It's on the. I was looking at it. It takes a little bit of a little comeback, but they're not that out of it.
Hey, I'll give you props. I like that pick. It's a ballsy pick, if anything. So good for you. I think you're right with the AFC North, where I said Baltimore and you said Pitt. I think that's the opposite. I think with the wild card, I think whoever doesn't win that division is an obvious wild card team. I think I'm curious to see what happens with Tua. If Tua plays well this week, and even if they don't necessarily win, I mean, it's obviously going to be a tough game for them, but I like Miami. I think they can maybe make a little bit of a run. I think Brian Flores is a fantastic coach. I think that's really starting to show. I think he's getting a lot out of it, a lot out of teams the last 2 seasons that the talent was far less than the results, in my opinion. And I think, I liked Fitzpatrick, the way he was playing with that team, and Tua is obviously a way more talented player. So that could be one. I'm going to go with the last one. I'm gonna go with going back to the North, and it's gonna be Cleveland. I think Cleveland
even without
is
Beckham.
Yeah, I think they've got just enough on defense. I think Myles Garrett is starting to show why he was the first overall pick a couple seasons ago. I think that guy's becoming every bit your Khalil Mack, close to the Aaron Donald level type. Impact from a defensive standpoint. Great pass rusher, and he's wreaking havoc everywhere on the field. Obviously, he plays with a little bit of an edge, as we've seen in the past, too, for him. So I think with that, Baker Mayfield scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. That was part of the reason why, it was kind of waffling between them and the Colts. But I think he's a good enough quarterback that he can make some plays. And Kareem Hunt's a dynamic player for them out of the backfield right now. So
I'm with you, Maddie. You stole some of my hotter takes, but I also have Pittsburgh because I don't think they're going to win that division. But they are. I think right now they might be the 3rd best
that
team in the AFC.
So good, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Whoever you could say whoever wins this week between Baltimore and Pittsburgh is every bit of the number 2 seed, if not the 1 with Kansas City. Like whoever, they're going to go neck and neck. Kansas City at this point, because this game means a lot to both of them this week. So it's going to say a lot to where that division goes.
I also, Matt, have the Dolphins as well. Like I said, like you nailed everything, man. I think that Tua is going to add just a little bit to that offense, and they've been playing well. My third and final wild card is one of the team we haven't talked about at all. And Zach, I know you're not going to like this. You don't like this team, but I think the Raiders might do it. They stick around in games. They obviously beat some top tier talent. They beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. I think they're going to sneak in. I think I don't know. I don't understand why.
I'll let you take this one, Zach.
I just don't see anything about Derek Carr that screams like, I am going to make a run for the playoffs with this team. I don't think this team is built for the playoffs, but maybe you're right. I took the Chargers in a crazy one too.
Yeah, that's kind of my out there pick. I don't know. I feel like Gruden's going to be able to get something.
Well, something that right there.
I don't know.
Too, is those teams haven't played each other yet. So I mean,
yeah,
the Chargers. If the Chargers win both games, them having being a game behind the Raiders right now means nothing. They've got two against each other. So it's, I think basically those teams are essentially tied when you really look at it. From that perspective. So I think I don't know. I didn't really even give the Chargers a whole lot of thought, but the more you think about it, oh my God, Minnesota missed the extra point to lose in overtime. They lost to Maryland outright. Wow. Missed extra point in overtime. Holy crap. Maryland was like an 18.5-point dog.
Yeah, they lost 45-3 to Northwestern last week.
That is wild.
That's things you hate to see.
God. Woo-wee. Yeah, so I don't know. I think the Chargers, like we said, I think Herbert's a stud. He's going to be a very good quarterback. He looks like he's the real deal, man. I don't hate that pick, Zach.
Thank you.
Let's move to the NFC. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The NFC East, the horrible division that it is. Who's winning the NFC East, Zach?
I have the Washington football team winning
the
NFC
East. Zach is walking out on the limb tonight. I like it.
But what I know is the Eagles, not a good football team.
They aren't.
Dallas Cowboys, not a good football
team.
The Giants, not a good football team.
Horrible.
The Washington football team, maybe not, but that defense can keep them in games, and the offense, it's there. It's crazier things can happen than them winning this division.
It's a little out there, but I respect that pick a lot.
I mean, it's hard to argue that. It is hard to argue that.
It is.
I'm going the Eagles, and I don't feel good about it. I'm going the Eagles, and I have no reasoning. Did they? Yes, I think they did.
The football team beat the Eagles, I'm pretty sure. So they got that right now.
I'm going to Eagles, and I have no reasoning for it.
There's no good pick in this division.
No, I'm taking the Eagles.
I was just about to say I'm going to take the Eagles, but I feel dirty about it.
Just don't. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, none of us should feel confident in anything in that division because God knows what could happen. NFC North, obviously, I got the Packers.
I got the Bears. I think the Bears will keep it going, and I would feel bad if I didn't say the Bears. But I think I have the Packers as a wild card team, so don't be mad.
Unfortunately, I'm going to take the Packers, but I think they're going to choke in the first round, so it doesn't matter.
What's new?
We can all agree that Minnesota – yeah, okay, buddy. We're going to all agree, though, that the Vikings are probably going to finish last. Shout out Pigoy. I give him credit. That team is bad, and he still watches every week. So he's a diehard. Moving to the NFC South, this is a kind of contentious division with two over 500 teams at the top. Zach, who is going to win the NFC South?
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers is what I should have said. I think that they will win this division. I think that the last few weeks they have shown how good they can be. They just got Antonio Brown, so they're just getting better. So I'm going with.
Now, if I'm mistaken, does he have to sit for 6 weeks?
I think he's already sat. I mean, technically the season's gone
I
on.
thought it didn't. I thought it didn't start till he signed a contract.
No, I'm pretty sure it's done.
Okay.
Because if that was the case, he wouldn't play all season.
Well, yeah. Oh, it says here in about 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works, but it says here on NFL.com he should be eligible in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think they would sign him to play next year.
Yeah. Matt, who you got?
You're on Tampa. I just don't think Drew Brees has got enough in the tank anymore to really get that team to 11 or 12 wins that it might take. So
I am going to go with the Saints for the only reason that I think this is Drew Brees' last ride, and he's going to somehow muster enough. He's a smart enough quarterback, and he's just going to will them in to win that game 15 or week 15 or 16 game in a nail biter against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and he's going to will them to a half point or a half game division lead and somehow hold on to it and barely sneak in, and then they'll get bounced in the first round and he'll ride off into the sunset.
Can he will his right arm to a pass longer than 12 yards?
Yeah, he's going to use his left arm.
I do not think so.
Maybe they'll go to Taysom Hill, and then I definitely love the Saints. So no,
Jameis 1 of 1.
I don't know. Jameis, yeah, I was going to say, which is the better option there, Jameis or Taysom? Who knows? They both stink. Moving to the NFC West, this one's tough. We have the worst team in the division is 4-3. Who do we got coming out of the NFC West? This is the best division in football, without a doubt.
I am going to go with the Seahawks, but I will kind of spoil my wild card. I have the Rams going in the wild card, but I say the Seahawks will win this division. I think the Seahawks 1 or 2 in the NFC right now.
I think Boomy's out of his mind when he says this is the best division in football. I think the AFC North is better, but
they're neck and neck. I agree.
I think,
but no, I think top to bottom, Cincinnati being in that division brings it down a little bit.
I think you're out of your mind. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, back to the West. I'm going to go with Seattle to win. I think Seattle's the best team in the NFC. I think Russell Wilson's probably the best player in the NFL right now, at least outside of Patrick Mahomes from a just sheer what he does in the field perspective. But Russell Wilson is doing some ridiculous things right now.
Yeah.
And every deep ball he's throwing seems to be absolutely on the money 100% of the time. He's got DK Metcalf. He's got Tyler Lockett. Those guys are catching anything they get their hands on right now. And DK Metcalf, I thought that guy had just a bus written all over him. He might be unguardable at this point just because of how big and how fast he is. It's insane, dude. He's just an absolute beast.
So good.
If their defense can come together at all, they're going to be an extremely tough out.
Couldn't agree more. Man, that's tough. I worry about the Seahawks just in the fact of some weaknesses they've shown in their last 2 games. They should have lost to the Vikings if the Vikings could manage a play or manage a clock, and they did lose to the Cardinals. I think that Rams defense. I'm going to go with the Rams to win the division. I think the Rams defense just brings another level in those. It's probably just recency bias because the Seahawks have looked vulnerable in the last couple weeks. So I will go with the Rams. Moving to the wild card, we got
no. Let's talk about it.
Sure. Recency
bias is very true. They just played the Bears, who made them look amazing on Monday Night Football. And I think that this Seahawks team, this offense, when it wants to go, it's unstoppable.
It is.
And I don't think that the Rams have that kind of offense right now.
I don't think the Rams are that good. I really don't. I do not think they're
Aaron Donald, good.
Aaron Donald's
very good.
I think that defense is good.
Yeah,
I think that defense is one of the best.
One of the best? I mean, it has the best player in the league. Yes, I'm not going to disagree with that. But I mean, there were some plays where Mooney was making Jalen Ramsey look look.
I'm going to tell you,
Jalen Ramsey is the best defensive back in football.
I'm going to tell you right now,
I'm too tired to argue right now.
I do not have that team in the playoffs. So that's where I'm at with the Rams. I've got the
I think it's
Arizona
very much recency bias.
I've got the Arizona Cardinals making it. I've got the Chicago Bears making it. And I've got the New Orleans Saints making it.
Zach, who do you got as your 3 wild card teams?
Packers, Saints. I have Rams, but I kind of want to take them out now.
Yeah, take them out. Get them out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to put the San Francisco 49ers.
Aye. See, that was between them and the Cardinals for me. I just want Kyler Murray showed me a lot this weekend. And
that's a good call, though.
I really like what him and Hopkins can do is absolutely electric on the field. Christian Kirk too. They got Larry Fitz. Larry Fitz has got one more last run in that old body of his too. I don't know, man. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a really good coach too.
My 3.
You might be right with that one.
My 3 wild card. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Arizona Cardinals are my 3 teams in the wild card.
No Bears. You don't even have the Bears.
No
in the
Bears.
Wild card.
I don't. Wow. I don't know, man. Again, it's probably
Didn't you just say they were a wild card team less than 5 minutes ago? I swear you.
No, I was the Seahawks.
I'm pretty sure when you said the Packers, you said, "Don't worry, I will have the Bears as a wild card team." I want to check the tapes on this. I'm pretty sure that came out of your mouth.
Well, if I did, I changed my mind. So it was probably after your subtle first round exit pick. So
whatever. Here goes Trolley Boomy again.
At least Matt with his brain and not his heart there.
I do think that Arizona and Seattle and the Rams are better than the Bears.
I think all 3 that Green Bay defense is going to get absolutely exposed by any decent offense that they come across. That defense is dog shit. It is dog shit. Every bit of it is dog shit. There is no good unit on that defense. It's Aaron Rodgers or nothing. That's all that team is, and he's playing outstanding. But I would not feel good about that team in a playoff situation strictly because I don't trust their coach. I think LaFleur's an idiot, and I don't trust that defense at all. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, we'll just have to wait and see.
5-1, I don't care.
Let's move on. Media recommendations. Obviously, with sports getting fewer and far between, you got to have something to watch. Does anybody want to start us off on a media recommendation?
I have the hat on right. Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
I got the hat on. 51 Strokes with Caleb Presley. It's got some pretty it's instructional guys for golf on there. It's a podcast. He's a pretty funny guy, but actually he has good content if you are a golf fan. Also, like instructor for, I think it was one of them was a coach for Bryson DeChambeau at one point. So go check that out. 51 Strokes, and they also have awesome hats and shirts.
I like the logo. The logo's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awesome. Mine is I think I talked about it possibly last week or the week before. I started the first episode of Cobra Kai, and I got a little more into it. And that show, I talked about a little bit of nostalgia earlier with Nintendo and everything. This is my childhood wrapped up right here, dude. This is perfect. I love it. The acting is so over the top cheesy that it's hilariously bad. Did you guys watch this at all or no?
Mm-mm.
No, it was very good. Very entertaining in my opinion. So good storyline, some funny lines so far. I'm about almost done with the first season now. So great show.
Right on. I am going to go with some big news that came out, and I know this might be harder to come by, but Chappelle's Show will be making a comeback to Netflix, apparently. There are a couple places. I believe you can rent it on Prime Video. if you haven't watched Chappelle's show, or just turn on Comedy Central for like a weekend, it is without a doubt my favorite sketch show. And
Is
it's
it the
going to
old
be
ones they're bringing back, or like the second wave of it?
no, the original airing is going to be on Netflix.
Okay.
So if you haven't watched Chappelle's show, I honestly don't know what you've been missing, but you need to go back. I've got the DVDs. Like I said, I think you can find them on Prime Video. It is without a doubt the funniest sketch show, in my opinion.
The old ones are great.
Any other media recs, boys?
No.
Any miscellaneous? No. All right, let's move into everyday Madden ratings. Does everybody have one ready?
I do.
All right, lead us off, Zach.
Laundry. And I'm talking about doing it, folding it, keeping up on it, not having to do laundry because you need clothes.
Just part of your daily habit.
Yes.
Or your weekly habit, whatever it may be.
Yes, and this also comes from me. I also accidentally, I got like dryer sheets off of Amazon, and I got 240. So I am good for a while.
Yeah, you're going to be doing that. Or not, you're not going to have to buy new ones for.
But I'm going to give myself like an 85. I'm actually pretty good at it. Like I just kind of throw my clothes down there usually and throw them right in there. And I usually do at least a load a load of laundry every probably 2 days.
Okay. I'm with you, man. I rate myself pretty high. I'm like a 91, 92, and I've been like this since I have moved out on my own. I've always, done my own laundry. I do have a little bit of room.
How many times have I been in your house and you said you didn't have underwear because you had to do laundry?
That was when I was poor, and then I bought like 20 pairs of underwear.
This was like less than a year ago.
No, there's no way that's true.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. You didn't have. It wasn't like you were out of it, but you needed to do laundry because you didn't have something.
I also change my clothes a lot, like especially in the summer. I'll change my clothes.
91, 92, you can't have a slip up like that.
Yeah, you gotta agree.
You're the one who gave yourself a rating way higher.
I'm sticking by it. I always get I do my laundry every 3 days.
But I'm a 95 then.
I don't let it sit.
I didn't know we were going on those kind. I'm a 95 then.
Well, how the hell else would you rate it?
I don't know. Coming from a person who has been out of clothes before, giving themselves a 91. That's like the highest number I think we've ever used.
You can't get better at it. Get off my ass.
Less than a year ago, but I'm just saying
Get
91.
Off my ass. You don't know.
92 may be like the highest number we've ever given on this show.
Not true. I've definitely given myself higher than that.
Well, then you really think highly of yourself.
Yeah, I very much so do.
Matt,
I'm gonna go with probably like an 87-ish, 80 somewhere. It's definitely lower than 90. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not perfect at staying on top of the folding as much as anything. A lot of it's like, I get a load or two done, and it's like in a weird time, and I just don't have it in me to fold at that point of the night or early in the morning, whatever it may be. So it sits in a basket for a day. That's when you get it. That's how I get dinged. But as far as making sure the quality of the fabric softeners, the detergent, how it's maintained, all of that stuff, very, very good. So that's where I get back up into the mid to high 80s, in my opinion.
Very nice. Matt, you have one.
Indoor basketball shooting. I've been really, in terms of the Fisher-Price basketball hoop styles, you see guys right there. That particular, I think, model everybody in America grew up with probably at some point in either their house, grandparents' house, wherever it may be. So I'm going to just say 3-point shooting at the indoor Little Tykes hoop. I'm going to give myself a rating of a 91.
I will have to give myself like probably a 70. It's been a while. I have nephews now. So I need to.
What you need to do is get that for a Christmas gift for one of them, Zach.
Yes.
And start refining your shot then.
Very true.
come back and like Boomy said, you can get better over 2 years, and then you can be a 99. Then
well, not according to Zach's rules. You can't. Once you're there for the rest of your life. You're just a pissant the rest of your life. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm at like a 68 just for the fact that like I couldn't tell you the last time I used one of those. We used to have one set up in my parents' basement that we used to use. I mean, all the time. Like,
oh my god, like I just drilled one, just drilled it. It was just money.
Matt, you're Matt. It's been probably since we moved out of that house in 2003 that I've used one. So it's probably been 17 years. So I'm probably still in the mid 60s range.
It's definitely all in the usage. You got to get shots up. Larry Bird, 500 shots a day. You know, it's just what you got to do.
You could say that about just like anything, right? Anything you get the reps in, it's going to pay off.
I guess.
Now, this is mine to wrap it up, and this is because I've been doing this way too much lately. How are you at ordering food, the whole process, like a to-go order, calling, ordering the food, getting there on time, getting your order, everything, make sure it's right, and getting it home and it's still warm? The whole process of getting to takeout orders, where is your rating on that?
I'm probably like a 65 or something. I'm not the best. I'm not the biggest, like, I don't want to go get the food. I'd rather be delivered, and I don't know. And then you just, like, you don't know what you want, and then you get on the phone, and you're just like, well, what do I want? What does everyone else want if you're ordering for other people? So, yeah, I'm a very indecisive food person, so I would have to give myself, like, a 65.
Respect that. Maddie?
Borderline elite, 93, 94 range. Somewhere deep down inside of me, there's a legend of the food ordering and pickup game. Did it tonight. I got there literally as the pizza was being pulled out of the oven, and they boxed the first one and had the cheese pizza for my kid literally being pulled out of the oven as I was walking in. Boxed it back in my car in about 45 seconds. So, you know, that kind of thing, you got to have the frost, the heat turned down low, angled at the feet so it's bouncing off the floorboards first, then coming up and hitting the food that's sitting on the passenger seat. It's all in preserving the heat. Don't order French fries. The French fries don't travel well. They're home games only in the restaurant. That's the only place you can eat a restaurant or a French fry, or on a very, very, very short drive. It's got to be Duke, Carolina type travel where it's 6 miles and hope for the best. But, you know, it's one of those things I'm very good at. I tend to always double check the bag, triple check the bag when I get back to the car, make sure everything everybody needed was in there, all the dipping sauces, the utensils that may or may not be needed. It's something I take a lot of pride in, boys. So I'm going to give myself a very good 94 on this one.
Respectable. That's a man who's done it a time or two. I am probably sitting like mid 80s, and my biggest issue is my timing, and it's never that I'm late. I always tend to be early, and it's always because I don't know what it is. I always feel like as soon as I place my order, like, okay, I need to go get this, and I sit in the parking lot, or I sit, oh, your order will be out in a minute. I always seem to be waiting for them to, get it finished up. So I'm going to say like 84 is what I'll go with. But I think one of my strong suits is that I'm great at putting an order in over the phone. I've gotten better at having a plan. I know everybody's order, and I do a pretty good job communicating with the person on the phone. So 84 with a little bit of upside possibility. So I think, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Zach, is that okay? 84?
Good for you.
All right, man. Let's move on. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if it was too high.
Just move on.
Let's move on to the big presidential election, and we're going to come up with our two people that we want to run this country. We're not going to talk about the actual politicians. We're probably not going to talk about many politicians at all, but the two people we want to be president and vice president. Zach, you said you've been planning this. I'm excited to hear what you got, man. Who are the two that you want running the United States of America?
My president, Shaquille O'Neal. Vice President, Ernie Johnson.
Hey, those are two names I did not see coming. And holy hell, I like it.
And the biggest thing is, I saw this video of Shaquille O'Neal this morning, and he just seems like a genuinely nice person. He does nice things for everybody. He had this thing that says, just because I have more money than people doesn't mean I'm a better person than people. Like, he was talking about how people that, like, maybe make more money, that make less money than him, actually work, how they work harder, and it would just seem like he gets it. Honestly, that would, I think, be a cool thing. And then Ernie Johnson just seems like he can always keep Shaquille in line on the show, and he would just be there to always just be like, just kind of calm him down sometimes. But I think that would be a good vice president.
I like that one. I like that one.
Maddie, who you got?
Well, for president, I'm going with the greatest diplomat in college sports. It's Roy Williams, head coach of the North Carolina basketball team. No, man. Roy Williams is the quintessential politician. He's got the look. He's got the way to talk. He's got the voice. Smart guy, nice human being, thoughtful person, good relationship building. I think he'd be able to reach across the aisle, talk to the other side, work with everybody. He's just a genuinely good human being. So I think I'm going to go with Roy Williams as my president. Are we going president and vice, or do I just?
Yep, you can go vice. Let's hear your vice president.
This one I kept going back and forth on, and it's somebody that I don't know which way to go, man. I keep bouncing back and forth. I don't know. I keep thinking, do I need to have the perfect counter for Roy Williams, or do I need to have the perfect vice president?
That is a tricky line to
does it need to be an actual person, or can it be a faction or a character from a show? Because
fictional, not
from a show. Okay, then done. It's Jack Bauer, because it's the perfect counter. You got Roy Williams, the diplomat, the perfect politician. Jack Bauer has done everything in terms of counterterror. He's done everything in terms of protecting the country, security, homeland security inside and out. General badass. He's a foreign diplomat. He's done everything. He's seen everything. Perfect counter to tell you when you need the kick in the ass for the nice guy Roy Williams. It's a perfect compliment, in my opinion. So I'm going Roy Williams and Jack Bauer.
Good choice. I like those a lot. My president, I'm going Mark Cuban. I don't know. I just like the guy. He's a likable person. He probably can be quite a dick when he wants to be, but he's a great
guy. The Delonte West stuff that he did, and
I agree.
He genuinely cares about people.
I don't think he's a bad human being. I would agree.
Yeah. So, and I think obviously the business sense is there. Now, my vice president is kind of tough, and I want to go with someone who I felt handled a second-hand job very, very well. And I'm going to go with Jed Hoyer of the Chicago Cubs, because he didn't get all the shine, which he's not going to get as the VP. But he's going to get things done. He's going to bring guys in. He's going to do the things that are needed to build up something good. He's got the planning down, and I think that that's a big part of it. So I would like to see Jed Hoyer as the vice president.
He's willing to excel in the secondary role. That's huge.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. It
doesn't matter what you hand him; he's going to give it his best shot, and he's probably going to do something well.
Well, an honorable mention for president would have to be Theo Epstein then too.
Yep.
I would agree.
I was going to say that, but then I got thinking about the secondary position, kind of like Matt said. I'm with you, Zach. I did definitely have that down.
The only thing with Theo, I think he'd be a good president. I think he would have absolutely 100% zero interest in doing it. Like, I think like being in that spot, and that I don't think he would like that one bit.
I'm with you. Anybody else
carries himself?
Any other nominees?
I thought Joe Madden in one spot could be.
I had that down too.
Yeah, I thought he could be decent.
No, I'm gonna have to push back on that, boys. He's too laid back to be president.
But I think that there's times when you need that.
I know, but I think
Especially think about the climate today.
I think that's where it kind of fell off with the Cubs. It was like we don't need to do this with the
not wrong.
with the batting practice and stuff like that. And
I can see it.
I'm saying he's a nice guy, but I don't know if I want to lead my country.
Maybe he's a cabinet guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like one of your secretaries.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got a job, but it's not like the main job.
Yeah, there's definitely times where we need a little bit more, kindness and a little bit more humanity in politics. And I feel like he could bring that.
I think he'd be a better vice president.
Yeah, or like Matt said, a cabinet member, like the Secretary of State, where he gets to work with all.
Is there a better cabinet guy though for a Joe Madden relationship than the one who's already a director himself and our buddy the director of morale? I think that's a perfect cabinet spot.
Department of morale?
I think. Well, I mean, we know who would be the head of that.
The UFC president, Dom Frederick,
director,
vice president.
Director of the Department of Morale.
He's vice president too.
Head of the Department of Morale and also vice president of Foreign Affairs.
I love it.
Not be like the vice president though. Like he should be morale. He should be hyping up the president.
That's a good point. It's a good point. It's a really good point.
So I like that.
Never thought we'd get to the point where we would be putting sports figures and entertainers into political offices, but here we are, boys.
I think Dom's got to run.
We're fixing the world. That's what we are. Then we could also call this section world.
Dom's got to run for office, I think, at this point, doesn't he?
I think Dom could get Theo to run as president, and Dom could be the vice president. I think that's going to happen.
I think Dom's more of a campaign manager role. I think where he is going to he's going to bury the bodies. He's going to hide everything that you would ever need. He's going to take care of every little problem, make sure no problem makes its way up to the top. He's exactly what you need in a campaign manager and then a chief of staff eventually.
I love it.
I find no flaws in this. I mean,
Did you guys watch what was that House of Cards? Or
yes, he's Doug Stamper.
He's Doug Stamper. He's exactly what he is. Yes. Doug Stamper.
Yes. He will just 100%. Stand there and just take
to do whatever dirty deed needs to be done for Theo.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Man, that's a good comp. Because I started thinking about that too. I couldn't think of his name.
Doug Stamper.
Doug Stamper. What a comp. I hope Dom doesn't take that as disrespectful. It's not
a bit. Not a bit.
Boys, anything else before we wrap up episode 85?
I got nothing.
Maddie?
I don't think I do either, except I can't wait to see Boomy's 0-6 this week. It's going to be fantastic. Unless he already won the Thursday night
definitely
game.
set myself up.
We all lost Thursday night.
There we go. Then he's going to go 0-6. I hope you do. And then I'm going to tell you every 30 minutes that you went 0-6.
Boomy, I'm not saying what you're doing with the first place isn't bad, but you are setting yourself up for.
Oh yeah,
the humbling weekend is coming.
For a catastrophic, just explosion.
Because now that you say first place, whenever one of us is in first place, it's going to be bad.
The humbling experience for our boy Boomy is coming. There's no doubt.
It's gonna end horribly, and it's gonna not work well in my favor, and I've already accepted that fate. So, as it tends to do. But thank you for checking out episode 85 of Typical Chicago Fans. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, Zach at ZLiliaTCF, and Maddie at schools_01. Make sure you head on over to the main page at Typical_Chicago on Twitter. Jesus. The Facebook and the Instagram page. Struggling here. Facebook and the Instagram page, type in Typical Chicago Fans and like us on both of those. Head on over to the YouTube page, subscribe to that for all of our content in video form. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow on Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. Make sure you follow us there. And like I said earlier, head over to 26shirts.com/Chicago. Promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. They've got some great merch. Head on over there if you like the podcast, like great Chicago merch. Typical Chicago fans is the promo code at 26shirts.com/Chicago. That was episode 85. Thanks for joining us. We love you all.
Peace.